I guess the why behind Women Advance was when 2010 election and the 2012 election came about. We lost so much for women and their families in this state. The new legislature and the new government that came in really didn't do good by women, really. It was regressive, in other words, to me. And there was a group of us that just could not stand what was happening. And it was very painful as a feminist, as a woman who's always kind of pushed the women's issues forward with Lillian's List, a group of us around those kinds of same sort of leadership efforts were going, this is harming North Carolina.
And I know that we're better than this. Where we are is better.
I loved what Women Advance had to offer. And I remember coming to the first summit and seeing the women come together and the vibe, and I thought, this is amazing.
The way that we are bringing about change in North Carolina relies on connecting with each other. And so as a statewide organization, being able to move about and to communicate in such a way that we are attracting issues, hearing issues, surveying what's going across the state, and trying to touch as many people as we possibly can. And by that, I mean story by story by story.
The Writers Collective is a consortium of women across the state from varying perspectives and socioeconomic backgrounds, ages, geographic regions. We believe that all women are an expert in something and we all have something to contribute to the dialogue of the state.
I also love that we have writers from not just all over the state, but economically, people who are working a minimum wage job, dealing with the challenges of being a single parent, dealing with childcare, and their voices are amplified next to people who have PhDs and graduate degrees and politicians. And we're amplifying all of these voices equally, and it's amazing to see the women, when their stories run, to say, wow, that's me.
It's important to note that the Writers Collective is expressly not just for writers. And in fact, some of my favorite members of the collective are the women that came to us and said, I'm not a writer. Because normally they end up being the best ones and the most genuine ones, the most shared ones on our social platforms. And so I've really come to appreciate that and invite that when we engage with women at various events.
What I think got me excited about the whole concept of the leadership team is this idea that we actually can cover the state of North Carolina. So our leadership team members are geographically across the state, and also that we brought different experiences to the conversation. So I love this idea of having the equity and the talent and the experience for a nonprofit who's on a budget, but we also were able to cover so much more by spreading that out into people's specific skill sets.
And it is all the skill sets that we all bring to the table, years and years of experience in grant writing, communications, and producing, and you put all that together, and what would you have to pay someone as a nonprofit to get one person with all those skills? Your average nonprofit couldn't afford it, and beyond that, no single human being has the bandwidth to meet all those needs.
So when a woman across North Carolina might put their child on the bus, might be hopping around the room, putting that shoe on right before she goes out to work, keys are in the mouth, and she's just thrown the dog into, the backyard, she's wanting to have something that's supporting her. Every single day, Women Advance, through our communications and our advocacy, is supporting her every single day, whether she knows it or not. Our hope is that she starts to learn about it. Our hope is that every woman across the state feels the touch of Women Advance. That only happens if we find financial support from people like you out there.
And it's absolutely important for us to come together. I think that we come together in an inclusive way, and we really help people to identify how we can make a difference and how we can make a change.
What we need is support from folks who will donate to all of our efforts of the communications and the advocacy. The way you do that, the way you support these stories that are going out every single day, the way that we're collaborating on social media, the way that we're getting together in summits once a year, that all takes finances, and with donations from people like you that can support us every day and pursue the work, and pursue the mission, vision, and values which we all share, which is to connect, inform, and engage people across North Carolina.